Hello everyone, let's begin the YouTube video. This contains 15 interview questions on C. Here we are discussing what beginning C programming deliverables. What are the basic data types supported in C programming language? The data types in C programming language are broadly classified into four categories. They are as follows: basic data type, derived data type, enumerated data type, and lastly void data types. Void data types means pointer, etc. Enumerated data type means enum. Derived data types means long int or structure. Basic data types means sort, char, int, long, float, double. What do you mean by dangling pointer? Just a minute. Let's see. Here sort is of 1 byte, char 1 byte, int 2 byte, long 4 byte, float 4 bytes, double 8 byte, long double 10 bytes. Long int unsigned long is a 4 byte, same as long. Unsigned int as same as int 2 byte. Unsigned char is 1 byte, char is of 1 byte. In unsigned int you don't have negative values, you only have positive values, so the range is doubled. Here 326767 into 2 is equal to 65353. What do you mean by dangling pointer variable in C programming? A pointer in C programming is used to point the memory location of an existing variable. In case if that particular variable is deleted and the pointer is still pointing to the same memory location, then that particular pointer variable is called as dangling pointer variable, because that memory has not been unallocated. What do you mean by the scope of the variable? What is the scope of the variable in C? Scope of the variable can be defined as the part of the code area where the variable declared in the program can be accessed directly. In C, all identifiers are basically or statically in scope. Within a pointer declared within a function has its scope only in that function, not in that function, while a class variable has its scope in the whole program. What are static variables and functions? The variables and functions that are declared using the keyword static are considered a static variable and static functions. The variable declared using static keyword will have their scope restricted to the function in which the variable declared using static has its scope in the whole program. You can use it here using class. Like suppose the class name is ABC, so and the static variable is A, so abc.a can be used to alter the static variable data. abc.a equal to 5 or abc equal to 6. Differentiate between calloc and malloc. Calloc and malloc are both dynamically memory allocation functions. The only difference between them is that calloc will load all the assigned memory locations with value 0, but malloc will not. Also, on using calloc, a whole block is assigned. While using malloc, you can create an array of blocks. What are the variable functions? What are the valid places where the programmer can apply break control statement? Break control statement is valid to be used inside a loop and switch control statements, like in for loop or in switch. How can we store a negative integer? To store a negative integer, we need to know the following steps. Actually, in computer, whatever you are storing will be stored in 2's complement. So we don't have concept of negative. So just in order to store 5 minus 5, first we need to convert into 1's complement. 1's complement of 5 is 1010. Okay, 0. It's First of all, we are using so plus 5 is 0 1 0 1. So I'm using its one's complement. All the digits are interchanged. Like 0 1 0 1 is changed to 1 0 1 0 for 5, 1's complement of 5. And then on adding 1 we get 2's complement of 5, that is minus 5. Differentiate between actual parameter and formal parameter. The parameters which are sent from main function to the subdivided function are called as actual parameters, and the parameters which are declared as subdivided function in are called as formal parameters. Like in a function sum, um, you are accepting two variables int a, int b. So those are formal parameters a and b. But if you are sending the variables, the value of the variables using main function like 5 comma sum 5 comma 6, those are actual parameters. Can a C program be compiled or executed in the absence of main? The program will be compiled but will not be executed. To execute any C program, main is required. What do you mean by nested structure? When a data member of one structure is referred by data member of another method. When a data member of one structure is referred by the data member of another method, then the structure is called a nested structure. It means a structure which is present inside another structure. So in order to uh, get access to the inside structure, you need to first get inside the first structure. What is a C token? Keywords, constants, special symbols, strings, operators, identifiers used in C program are known as C tokens. This is a compiler. What? Tokens. What is preprocessor? A preprocessor directive is considered as a built-in predefined function or macro that acts as a directive to the compiler, and it gets executed before the actual C program is executed. A preprocessor directive is considered as a built-in predefined function or macro that acts as a directive to the compiler, and it gets executed before the actual C program is executed. What is C? Why is C called the mother of all languages? C introduced many concepts and data structures like array, list, function, and strings, etc. Many languages designed after C are designed on the basis of C language, hence it is considered as the mother of all language. Mention the features of C programming language. The best thing in C is pointers. Recursion is present in C. It's faster than other languages because it's more. Other languages are made on this high-level language or structured language, rich library, extensible memory management. What is the purpose of printf and scanf in C program? Printf is used to print the values on the screen, to print certain values, and on the other hand, scanf is used to scan the values we need. An appropriate data type format specific for both printing and scanning purpose. For example, %d is for integer. So hello guys, here we are back to our YouTube video. 50 interview questions on C. Let's start from where we left off. Question number 15. What is the purpose of printf and scanf in C program? Printf is used to print the values on the screen. To print certain values, we are using printf. And on the other hand, scanf is used to scan the values. The appropriate data type format specific for both printing and scanning purposes are as follows. %d is used to print and scan an integer value. %s to scan a string. %c for a character. %f for a float value. What is an array? The array is a simple data structure that stores multiple elements of the same data set in a sequential manner. Reserved in a sequential manner, we are storing similar data types in it. Three types of arrays namely are one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and multi-dimensional. What is /O character? The symbol mentioned is called a null character. It is considered as the terminating character used in string to notify the end of the string to the compiler. In C we don't have string, so we are using character arrays to store string. So at the end of the string we are storing /0 as a main character, so that we can know that the string has ended. What are the main difference between the compiler and interpreter? Compiler is used in C language and it translates the complete code into the machine code in one shot. That is, it converts the whole code written into a machine level code. On the other hand, interpreter is used in Java programming language as well as in Python. On the other hand, programming language is designed to compile code line by line. Can I use int data type to store 32768 value? No, integer data type will support the range between -32768 to +32767. Here it's minus and here it's plus. Any value exceeding that will not be stored. In order to store +32768, we can use unsigned int because it will store only positive value of float or log int. Intermediate C programming interview questions. Now, beginning was over. Now let's come to intermediate. How is a function declared in C language? First of all, is how we are writing here the syntax. First, we will be using return type. Suppose int function name sum formal parameter list. Suppose int a comma int b function body return integer return space a plus b. So the sum will be returned. What is dynamic memory allocation? Mention the syntax. Here, dynamic memory allocation, as we have seen earlier, we can use malloc as well as scanloc. Dynamic memory allocation is the process of allocating memory to the program and its variables in runtime. Dynamic memory allocation is allocating memory to the program during runtime. Dynamic memory allocation process involves three functions for allocating memory and one function to feed the used memory. Syntax. Pointer ptr is equal to int star ptr is equal to int star malloc size. The size of int you can use. Or if you are using integer array, size of int into the total number of blocks in integer array. Int star ptr is equal to int star malloc size of int into 50. So array of 50 size will be created. Calloc allocates memory. Here ptr is equal to cast type star calloc. Here cast type will be int star calloc n comma element size. N is the total number of blocks you need, as well as the element size is the size of each block. Realloc allocates memory. Okay, realloc will suppose you already created a block using malloc. Now you want to increase its size. You can use realloc ptr comma new size. Free is used for deallocating the used memory. Free ptr. It will deallocate the used memory. What do you mean by dangling pointer variable in C programming? A pointer in C program is used to point the memory location of an existing variable. In case if that particular variable is deleted and the pointer is still pointing to the same memory location, then that particular pointer variable is known as dangling pointer variable. As we are talking about dangling void, null and void pointers, let's come to this another tutorial, a short tutorial of 1 minutes. We will talk about dangling pointer. What is dangling pointer? A pointer pointing to a memory location that has been deleted or freed is called a dangling pointer. It means you are pointing to a memory location which doesn't exist. That is dangling pointer. So let's see what is dangling pointer. Here we have assigned a memory using malloc. Size of int. You understand int star ptr is int star malloc size of int. After using free ptr, that memory location has been deallocated. So now this int star theta is still pointing to that location, but that memory location doesn't exist. So we say it is a dynamic pointer. Another example of this is function C. Int star p is equal to fun. We are calling the fun function. It returns a pointer x equal to 5 return and x. And x is the memory location of x. It's written. But as we know that x is a local variable, so once this function gets over, that memory is deallocated. So you are still sending it a memory location, but that memory has been deallocated. So still that memory won't contain anything in it. Now next come to void pointer. Void pointer is a specific pointer type. Void star PTR. Instead of using int star PTR, we are using void star PTR. A void star is a pointer that points to some data location in storage, which doesn't have any specific data type. Void refers to the type. Basically, the type of data that is void refers to the type. Basically, the type of data that it points to is can be anything. Suppose that void star is pointing to a character, so it's a character pointer. That void star is pointing to it, so it is a pointer. Void pointers cannot be dereferenced. It can, however, be done using typecasting the void pointers. Pointer arithmetic is not possible on pointers of void type. So you can't use pointer arithmetic on void pointers. Here, simple example. Int x 4 void slot y 5.5. Here a void pointer is used. Void star ptr. Ptr is equal to end x. Int star ptr will do the typecasting. Okay. Ptr is equal to and x. X is the integer we are storing. Ptr is pointing to an address of x. So first, in order to access that, we need to first typecast that pointer to integer pointer. So we are typecasting it. Once it's typecasted, we can access that memory location of integer. Similarly, we can change the ptr equal to and y. Here y is the float to y equal to 5.5. So ptr is pointing to a memory location of float. So first we will typecast and then to access star. Okay. Null pointer. Int star ptr is equal to null. Null pointer is a pointer which is pointing to nothing. In case we don't have address to be assigned to a pointer, then we can simply use null. For later use, we can change that null to something else. Like in star x, ptr is equal to and x. Null version is an initialized pointer. An uninitialized pointer stores an undefined value. A null pointer stores a defined value, but one that is defined by the environment. A null pointer stores a defined value, but one that is defined by the environment will not be a value of this for any member or object. Null versus void pointer. Null pointer is a value, while void pointer is a type. While pointer. If you just a pointer which has not been initialized to anything, not even null, is known as wild pointer. Wild pointer. Pointer may be initialized to a not null garbage value that may not be varied address. So wild pointer points to a new memory location. That is a garbage memory location. So let's go back to our. I hope you liked that video of dangling void and null pointer. Dangling void, null and wild pointer. So let's come back to our tutorial. Interview questions. Where can we not use AND address operator in C? We cannot use AND on constants, a null variable which is declared using the registered storage class. So you cannot use AND on constants as well as on registered storage classes. Write a simple example of a structure in C. Language structure is defined as user-defined data type. User-defined data type that is designed to store multiple data members of the different data types as a single unit. Struct employee add name 10 int age. Here a pseudo name is given to a structure employee. So in order to access the variables of the structure, we need to use the event.name and similarly event.age to store something in it. Differentiate between call by value and call by reference. So we are basically differentiating on three conditions. Safety. Actual arguments cannot be changed and remain safe. Operations are performed on actual arguments, hence cannot be safe. Call by reference uses pointer. So once the original uses pointer, so new memory location has not been created. So once the changes have been written to the argument to that variable, it shows in the actual variable also. Same memory location is used for actual as a formal parameter in call by reference. That's why. Memory locations. Separate memory locations are created for actual formal arguments. In call by reference, actual and formal arguments share the same memory location. Arguments. Copy of actual arguments extend. And call by reference, actual arguments are directly called. That means the address is passed. So we have an example. That's very good. Void change int x int y. This is called by value. Change a comma b. 25 as well as 50 cents. X equal to 100 and y equal to 200. Now again printing that those a and b, the value has not been changed. 25 and 50. Now check this out. Call by reference. As I said earlier, we use pointers. Here we are change main change and a and b. And a means we are sending the address, and b means we are sending the address of b. 25 50 address memory location. Here memory location of a and as well as the memory location of b person. Int star x comma int star y. Here pointers point to memory location of addresses. So star x equal to 100. Star x means x is storing the address. Star x will get inside that address, and then we can change the value to 100. So 25 change to 100, as well as star y will change 52 to 100. So after printing a and b, we get 100 and 200. So call by reference changes the value. Actual arguments are lost. Difference between getch and getche. Both the functions are designed to read characters from keyboard, and the only difference is that getch reads character from the keyboard, but it does not use any buffers, since the data is displayed on the screen. Does not use any buffers since data is displayed on the screen. Getche reads characters from the keyboard and it uses a buffer. Since data is displayed on the screen. In getch, data is not displayed on the screen. In getche, data is displayed on the screen because it uses a buffer to store that data you just inserted in getch, but it doesn't use a buffer in getch. So data is not shown on the screen. Here, simple example. Printf enter a character ch equal to getch. So you just please enter character. You enter character is x. So in printf, nothing is shown on the screen. Printf your character is %ch. So you entered x. So x is shown. Print please enter another character. Ch equal to getche. Here a buffer is used. Please enter another character. Please enter another character. You just inserted z. Here z is being shown, but in previous cases where we use getch, no buffer was used, so x was not shown. So inside your new character is %c. Your new character is z. So in getche we can see z, but in getch we can't see it because we don't use buffer in getc. Explain toUpper with an example. toUpper is a function designed to convert lowercase words or characters into uppercase. Hatch includes ctype.h. This is the header file for upper. Char c equal to small, c equal to here in a single quotation a should be present, otherwise it will give an error. Printf after conversion print %C, C comma 2 upper A after conversion 2 upper C. So capital is which, so here also after conversion C upper capital B. So because B was already in uppercase. In single quotes B should be present capital B. Write a code to generate random number in C language. We can use rand function to generate random values. Here, for loop is here to print 10 random numbers b equal to rand printf d n b. Can I create a customized head file in C language? Head file in C language. It is possible to create a new header file. Create a file with function prototypes that needs to be used in this program. Include the file in the hyperlink section its name. If it is possible to create a new header file, create a file with function prototypes. Using the what do you mean by memory leak? Memory leak can be defined as a situation where programmer allocates dynamic memory to the program but fails to free or delete the memory used after the completion of the code. This is harmful if daemons and servers are included in the program. Daemons means the processes which are running in the background, and servers are always needed to run in the background to handle the clients. Memory leak can be defined as a situation where a programmer allocates dynamic memory to the program but fails to free or delete the used memory. Yes, here PTR is used to allocate memory n into size of int memory PTR. If PTR equal to null, memory not allocated, except 0. Memory successfully allocated using malloc. Else if PTR is not equal to null, for I equal to PTR I equal to I plus 1. So we are storing 1 to n in the array PTR. The limits of the array are, so we are printing it out 1 2 3 4 5. But we are not deallocating this memory, right? After the PTR has been used, we should have written free PTR so that memory should have been used, but here we are not using that. So there's memory leak. Explain local static variables and what is their use. A local static variable means its scope is inside that function only. Static index. It's a local static variable. A local static variable is a variable whose life doesn't end with a function. I'm sorry. A local static variable is a variable whose life doesn't end with a function call where it is declared. It extends for the lifetime of the complete program. All calls to the function share the same copy of local static variables. So it means that static index scope is the whole program. It won't get to deallocate once the function gets over. Okay. Also, static index will maintain a same copy for the whole program. Suppose x equal to x plus 1. So as function fun is called twice. So first time x equal to x plus 1 will make x equal to 1, and another time x fun is again called, so x equal to x plus 1, that means 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Oh, sorry, first, yeah, after running fun it will be equal to 4, but as we are printing before it, so first it will print 0 and another time it goes there, it will print 1. What is the difference between declaring a header file with less than greater than and quotes? If the header file is declared using less than greater than, then the compiler searches for the header file within the built-in path If the header file is declared using quotes, the compiler will search for the header file in the current working directory, and if not found, then it searches for the file in other locations. Quotes means you are using your own header files, user created header files. When should we use the register storage specifier? We use register storage specifier if a certain variable is used very frequently. This helps the compiler to locate the variable, as the variable will be declared in one of the CPU registers. So we can use the registers if a single variable is used many times or too many operations are being done on it. So it will be stored in the CPU registers. Register index we can use to store integer variable in a register. Which statement is efficient and why? Is equal to x plus 1 or x plus plus. X plus is the most efficient statement as it just a single instruction. The compiler, while the other is a binary operation. Can I declare the same variable name to the variables which have different scopes? Yes, same variables name can be declared to the variables with different scopes. So with different variable scopes. As the following statement: int var void function int variable. Which variable can be used to access union data members? If the union variable is declared as if the union variable is declared as a pointer variable. Arrow operation dash can be used to access the data members of a union if the union variable is declared as a pointer variable. Can be used to arrow operator can be used to access the data members of a union. Now here union is similar to a structure. Data members of a union or data member structure if the union variable is declared as a pointer variable. Mention file operations in C language. Basic file handling operations C are F open to open a file, F close to close a file, F status to read a file, F print to write into a file. You should notice from when interviewer asks this: F open to open a file, F close to close a file, F gets to read a file, F printf to write into a file. What are the different storage class specifiers? This is storage class specifiers in C. Auto, register, static, external. The different storage specifiers available in C programming language are as follows: auto, register, static, external. What is typecasting? Typecasting is a process of converting one data type into another. It's known as typecasting. If we want to store the float data type to an int, then we will convert the data type into another data type explicitly. For conversion of an integer data type into float, it is converted automatically. But when we need to convert a float into int, we need to use typecast. Suppose int a is equal to let's start with float f equal to 5.5. So we need to convert it into integer. Int a is equal to int, and then in the bracket of n, we need to write f. So typecast is done. So a will store 5 only. Write a C program to print hello world without using a semicolon. This is very important. This is also very many interview questions. So instead, if you don't want to use semicolon at the end of the program, use if statement. If printf hello world, that's it. And if will be executed. Write a program to swap two numbers without using the third variable. So this is applicable. First a equal to 10, b equal to 20. A equal to a plus b will make a equal to 30. So on subtracting b from a will return 10 to you again. So a equal to a plus b is 30. B equal to a minus b. 30 minus 20. So 10. Now b is equal to 10. Okay. Now we want to get a is equal to 20. So a equal to a minus b. So first a plus b, then a minus b, then a minus b. Use your brain, you can easily get this. How can you print a string with the web symbol percent in it? There is no escape sequence provided by the symbol percent in C. So if to print percent, we should use percent as shown below. There are 90% chances of getting to 9. And the single percent will be shown. Write a code to print the following pattern. So we need to use two for loops, that is nested for loop. For I equal to 1 to 5, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 rows, and as we are having 5 columns, so for j equal to 1 to j less than equal to 5. Now in the first row we are having only 1. In the second row we are having 2 columns. So first j equal to 1, j is less than equal to, instead of writing 5 here we need to write 5, because first row is executed on one time, second row executed twice, third row 3 times. Okay, so first row not be executed only once. We can write here j less than equal to I. For second row also this 1 and then 2. For third row that means j equal to 1, then 2, and then 3, so 3 times. So we are printing j here, so it works. Instead of here 5, so instead of writing j less than equal to 5, we need to write j less than equal to 1. In the hatch pragma directive, the following point explains the pragma directive. This is a preprocessor directive that can be used to turn on or off certain features. It is of two types: hatch pragma setup, hatch pragma exit, and pragma warn. Pragma startup, pragma exit, and pragma warn. Pragma startup allows us to specify functions called upon function startup. Hatch pragma exit allows us to specify functions called upon program exit. Hatch pragma warn tells the computer to suppress any warning or not. How can you remove duplicates in an array? We are taking two array A equal to 100, B equal to 100. Enter number of elements in an array. Suppose so 10 elements. Printf enter 10 integers. And so we are entering 10 integers. For I equal to 1, I less than and I plus plus. Here 10 integers are already inserted in the arrays model. Now we are using nested for loop, that means for side for. For I equal to 0, I less than and I plus plus. Start CLC calc equal to 0, I j and count are all uninitialized. For I equal to 0 to I less than and I plus plus, for j equal to 0 0 then calc j plus plus. Hello guys, welcome. How can you remove duplicates in an array? In order to remove duplicates in an array, it will take big of n square because 2 for loops I use. So in order to reduce this time complexity, the best way is that we can just convert that given array into a sorted array. Okay, so in order to convert that array to sorted array, we can use merge sort. It will convert that array into sorted array in big of n log n. So now let's see what we are going to do next. So here you are remove duplicates from sorted array. As we can see in example 222, the new size is 1 and 2 is present. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 sorted array is given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see how we are using one extra. We will be using extra integer array for this. Here a simple function int array int n. If n equal to 0, n equal to 1, return n. Return if array is empty or contains single integer. So if only the size is 0 or 1, so we will be returning that same integer array only. In temp n is the new array, we will be returning temp n. For I equal to 0, I is less than n minus 1. So we are traversing the array. We are traversing the elements of the array. So if array of I is not equal to array of I plus 1, that means if current element is not equal to the next element, then store that current element into the temporary array. Temp j plus plus equal to array of I. Here j is equal to 0. After storing the value, j will become 1. So in the next iteration, it will, if needed, it will store at the temp 1 array of I. So here we are only storing the unique value. We are only using the we are only storing the unique values in temporary array. Store now once everything is done, store as we are only iterating till the second last element, so we need to store the last element to the temporary array. Temp j plus plus equal to array of n minus 1. Store the last element as whether it is unique or repeated it hasn't stored previously. Modify original array. For I equal to 0, I less than j I plus plus. We are storing all the values present in the template to the array. So we are changing array back to the new array. So array is returned. On print update, we are printing the new array, which doesn't contain any new duplicates. Big of n. For sorting, it takes big of n again. So let's go back. So here we are back. What is bubble sort algorithm? Explain with a program. The percentage in which bubble sort is approx 70 to 80%. 70 to 80% everyone will ask about bubble sort. In fact, even for advanced interview also, bubble sort is fast. Like time complexity, how to reduce time complexity, what modification can be done, all those things. Bubble sort is a simple sorting algorithm that repeatedly steps through the list, compares adjacent elements and swaps them. In bubble sort, we are comparing the adjacent elements and swap them if they are greater. If they are in the wrong order, the pass through the list is repeated until the list is 2. So in a single iteration, the maximum element is forced to the last. Let's therefore repeated. Inter elements, its time complexity is big of n square. Inter number of elements scanf %d and n. Printf enter the elements, so we are suppose 10 elements. We inserted 10 elements here. Now we are sorting in this two columns. For I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, and then for j equal to 0, j less than n minus 1 minus I. So here n minus 1. It means that you're not sorting till the last iteration, just before that happens till n minus 1 iterations we are going to see it. For j equal to 0, j is less than n minus 1, n minus 1 and then minus I. The reason we are using minus I here is that As I said earlier, once a single for loop iteration is done, it will throw the maximum element of that array at the last. So you need not to check that last element every time, because you already know that the maximum element of that iteration will be stored at the last. So here n minus 1 minus I. If array j is greater than array j plus 1, that means it's adjacent one. So we will be swapping it. Swap array j, array j plus 1, array j plus 1 equal to swap. So the maximum element is thrown at the second index. That means at the ith, at the 0 and then 1th index. Okay. So on basically doing this for the whole iteration, we will be throwing that the maximum element. Like suppose the maximum element was 50, is it present at the 0, so it will be thrown at the last. After that again, then now n minus 1 minus for I equal to 0 plus 0. Now n minus 1 minus 1 I equal to 1. So so that means only it will work for 8 times, because I was working for 9 times. Now j will be working for 8 times, because the ninth index position will be having the maximum element in it. So on basically doing this, we will be getting the elements in a sorted ascending order. So suppose the bubble sort you are going to apply on a sorted array only. So then also it will be taking big of n square for this. So in order to reduce the time complexity for that, we can use a flag variable here inside the nested function for j equal to 1, j is less than n minus 1. In the if there has been no swaps, so suppose there were no swaps in a single iteration, that means the array was already sorted. That means the next adjacent element of the array is always greater than the previous adjacent element. So we can basically say that the array is sorted. So we will be having a flag variable equal to 0 at the start. Suppose there has been no swap, we will be changing it to flag equal to 1. So once it's flag equal to 1, we will break the for loop and then we will say it's sorted. So it will take only the single operation big of n for j equal to 1 to j is less than 1. What is round robin algorithm? Write a code for round robin. Round robin algorithm is one of the algorithms employed by a process and network schedulers in computing in order to evenly distribute resources in the system. Round robin algorithm is a CPU scheduling algorithm. Here each process is given equal number of resources. Here each process has evenly distributed resources. I don't think anyone in class can do this, especially its code. So you don't. Here we will be having a time quantum. Suppose the time quantum is 1 second. So each process will be given entry in the each process will give an entry into the critical section of the CPU for 1 second only. After that 1 second, it needs to get out, and then another process will have access to the CPU for computation. So that's why your time quantum is being asked. Here, round robin is basically just for theoretical purpose, not of the code. Right, which structure is used to link the program and the operating system? To link the program and the operating system, the structure used to link the operating system to a program is file. The file is defined in the header file stdio.h, standard input-output header file. It contains the information about the file being used, its storage size, its location in memory. It contains a character pointer that points to the character that is being opened. Opening a file establishes a link between the program and the operating system about which file is to be accessed. What are the limitations of scanf and how it can be avoided? Scanf cannot work with a string of characters. It is not possible to enter a multi-word string into a single variable using scanf. To avoid this, the getters function is used. That means scanf can't use hello, my name is this. So space can't be used in scanf to enter multiple words. So in order to do that, we use getters function. It gets a string from the keyboard and is to avoid this, the getters function is used. It gets a string from the keyboard and is terminated when enter key is pressed. Here the spaces and tabs are affected as part of the input string. Differentiate between macros and their functions. Macros call replaces the templates with the expansion in literal way. Macros and functions. Macro call replaces the templates with expansion in a literal way. The macro call makes the program run faster but also increases the program size. Macro call makes the program run faster but also increases the program size. Let's start. Macro. Macro call replaces the templates with expansion in a literal way. Macro is simple and avoids error related to function call. Macro makes the function small and compact. Passing arguments indicating that the returned value takes some time to make the program run at a slower rate. Suppose a global variable and a local variable have the same name. Is it possible to access a global variable from above where local variables are defined? No, it's not possible. It is always the most local variable that gets the preference. With this, we can come to an increase. So I hope you liked my tutorial. So let's compare macros versus functions. Macros are pre-processed, which means that all the macros will be processed before your program compiles. However, functions are not pre-processed or compiled. Here, hash define number 10. Then number 10 is the macro. Now, printf number will print 10. So instead of doing this, we can also use function here. Int number return 10. Here we are using a function. So here first this program needs to be compiled. Here this is that the macros are pre-processed for functions or not. Check this out. We just compiled the whole C program example.c. Here hash define number 10 is not shown here. Instead, also when we have printf hash %t comma number, instead of number here it's showing 10. Similarly, in this example.c, here the function int number is being spoken. That means we need to compile this one. Then only we can execute it. Hash define cube bbb. Here we are finding out the cube of small b. Cube 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and then cube of b is 7. In macros, no type checking, incompatible operand, etc. is dead. And thus use of my macros can lead to error side effects in some cases. However, this is not the case with functions, as macros do not check for compilation error, if any. We want 27, but here cube 1 will be, as cube b is only taking a single input. Unexpected output. Instead of showing 27, it's only showing 7. Int cube int a, so here it's given 27. Macros are usually one linear, however they can consist of more than one line. The speed macros are usually only one linear, there are no such constraint functions. The speed at which macros and functions are different. Macros are typically faster than functions, as they don't involve any actual functions available. Inclusion macros are not really recommended. No type checking is done in macros. Difficulty to debug as they cause simple replacement. Macros don't have namespace or macro in one section of code can affect other sections. Macros can cause side effects as in the queue function of whatever. Macro preprocessor function compiled, no type checking, type checking. Using macro increases the code length. Using function keeps the code length unaffected. Use of macro can lead to side effects. Speed of execution using macro is faster. Speed of execution using function is slower. In macro, no compile time errors. No, not checking compile time error. In function, we are checking for compile time error. I will keep the link in the description.